All right, welcome back again. So, Igbo Forest. So, without wasting much of our time, I want to briefly share with you for the past few weeks. I think for the past few weeks, it's going to approaching a month, and I've not been actively uploading video or dropping analysis on my YouTube channel. It's not that I've not been active on the forex market. I've been active, but if you observe, if you have been on this channel for a while now, you can still observe that I think one of my favorite pair which I drop analysis on Gbpjpy. So currently I'm looking at Gbpjpy from the weekly time frame. Before we dive into the call, please don't mind me. If this is your first time of coming across my video or watching this, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, turn up the notification for more educational content like this. So without wasting much of our time, first of all, what I want to do here is what we do usually. What I do usually here is I want to come to the weekly time frame to be able to figure out my direction. Right? So first of all, the first thing I want to get our bias clear. So I've been dropping educational video on this pair and some other pairs too, but for the past few weeks now, I've not been actively dropping video on this pair, which means on the other hand, I'm still active on the forex market trading on that pair. So I will share with you in this video some of the reasons why I've not been active on this pair or dropping YouTube video, and also what exactly is happening on Gbpjpy and what we should be expecting from the market. So without wasting much of our time, let's see. So from the weekly time frame, I said that, as I said earlier, what we want to do here is we want to first of all figure out the direction that the market is pushing to, the current direction. So from the weekly time, we don't need much tools. So mainly looking at it, you can see that the market is pushing to the upside. We are trending to the upside. So our main focus here on this market is looking for opportunity to buy. Now, as I've said earlier, or if I don't now, if you're observing the structure from the weekly time frame, or most of the time, if you are doing analysis, you're observing the structure of a market from the weekly time. What you can see here, you can see a linear structure, a linear push. Now, most of the time we don't treat a linear push in the market. What we want to do here is what we want to figure out. We want to see a structure more like what we theoretically we expect the market to create high, low, high, low, high, low, just continuously breaking structure to signal a continuation of the bullish push. But from the weekly time frame, we cannot see that kind of structure. What we can see just is linear push, which is not most of the time it's not tradable. We don't place trade on the weekly time frame, just mainly for figure out our direction. So what we want to see here, we want to see that theoretical structure, like something like it's tradable altogether. So what we want to do here is our mindset is set to find a structure that is creating high, low, high, low, high, low. It might not be neat as it is, but we want to see is familiar structure like this for us to pick our entries in the market. Now, so what we have to do here, we have to scale down to the lower time frame. So from the weekly, we scale down to the daily. Together. So, as I've said earlier, from the weekly time frame now, as we scale down to the weekly time frame, the more we scale down time frame to time frame, the higher to the lower, and the structure of the market become broader for us to see exactly what the market structure is actually looking like. So as I've said earlier, we want to see a structure that is creating high, low, high, low. What is probably internal? This is I cannot take this. You can say expect. What do you expect? This is more like inside consolidation. How to do that? But regardless of that, so for the past previously what I was previously done. Now we have this low. So what we had here, we have this high, low, we have this high. Now, once you had a break or structure, now we have this low here, create this high. What do you expect? Retracement, a break or structure. What do you expect again? A retracement. Now once the market retraces, we expect it to retrace to a significant level to a level. Now, if you've watching my video, this zone, this consolidation, this was my last analysis on this pair for up to a week. Now, this is where I dropped my last video. So in this play, what we were expecting was a significant correction and a push to the upside. So I think here about to lose one trade. So since then, I've not been able to make analysis, or I've not made a significant amount of money from this pair, but set on that the market has pushed aggressively to the upside. So I want to share with you what has been happening, or aside online, like what I've been doing and how I've been observing the market and what is the current market condition, what we're expecting from the market. That's what I really want to share with you. So after this, I think the last video I dropped, the market was consolidating there, but so I was looking for a correction. So once we had this bullish push, I was expecting a bit of retracement. So once we had this red candle and this initial candle, so I was like expecting, okay, the market wants to push up. So I placed a trade before we had this aggressive bearish drop, which stopped me at here. But so once the market stopped me at what I was still expecting, I already know that the market is a bullish market. So I was still expecting a correction before a push. But what I had was we have this massive push, which I was not able to catch the trade before we had this push. So once we had this push, I was still expecting hold on. So after this push, hold on. So after this, what I was expecting from the market to take a trade, I was expecting this market to push back. As I told you, I have not been able to place any significant trade to make a significant amount of money. So I was expecting this market to retrace back, tap into this level of demand and push up. But what unfortunately, the market not really retraced to my zone to tag me in before it pushed. So as this market is pushing, what I already have now, I said this is my origin. So I was more like expecting the market to still come to this level and tap me. So whatever trade I was like, whatever zone I see based on my strategy to place trade within this impulsive leg, which I was expecting to cause a break or structure, I was very careful to easily close my trade out or break even, because market can easily spike to this level and push up. Yeah, so whatever trade I was taking here, I was very careful. So I placed one trade. So after this loss, there was one trade I placed here. So let me quickly go to the 4 hour to share it with you. Now, hold on. I hope we are together. So I think this is the consolidation from the 4 hour time frame. This was the consolidation. So I think once price dropped to this level, I took the buy here before we have this massive drop to the downside, which stopped me out. So what I was expecting from the market is, what I was anticipating is, I was expecting a correction, which I failed to take the trade from me before we have this aggressive push to the upside. So once we had this aggressive push to this upside, I was expecting a pullback, a retracement to tap into this level of demand before. But unfortunately, the market failed to make any significant. Once we push to this level, as this market is coming down, this push here, I was expecting it to make the retracement to the downside to tap into this zone for me to take the buy. But unfortunately, the market now pushed low, which reacted from this level of demand, which I was expecting this level to break. But fortunately, it pushed up again, which I was not able to place trade throughout this level. So I have to observe the market closely as the market is pushing up gradually. So from the for most of the time, I pick my zone of entry from the 4 hour time frame. So what you can see here is as the market start to proceed to the upside, what I can see here will create a level of demand. So what I was expecting at that point again was this. Now once you create this level of demand, I put a pending order. Now once we had this push breakout, what I was expecting, I expect the market to push up to tap to this level. What you can see that the market shies away from this zone here. We have this wick here, which means another missed trade. We had a missed trade here, or maybe I can start from here. We had this missed trade here. So the market went up aggressively. This push here. So meaning from this market, from the current movement here, from this zone here, I already have two pending order, but I was more, because of this gap here, I was still more concerned. Whatever trade I said, okay, this is more like entry, I will place trade here, but whatever trade I'm placing around any of this zone here, I'll be very careful, because this is the level I was looking. This extreme zone was the zone I was really looking at. So I placed a pending order here. We had this push again, which I was expecting to push to this level, was failed to push to this level before we had this push. So during this period, I think I did not really place trade. I was still waiting for market to push to my zone. Now, mind you, if you closely observe, I'm not going to lie to you in this way. I'm going to make everything plain. I also saw this level of demand here. So my pending order was around this level. My pending order was around this level. So once I saw this once I saw this, I think there was news that day. Once I saw this aggressive push, when market was coming aggressively to my zone here, because I was currently observing the market at that time, since the market was coming to my zone, I removed my pending order that was here. I was resting around this level. When the market came, it broke below my first entry, this one which I removed already. Market tap into this level. So once market tap into this level, we had this bullish spike. So once market get to this level, it was consolidating. So around this level, I still have this my pending order resting. So I was like more like, okay, since this market is consolidated, because of due to the momentum of the drop, I was not really expecting the market to push aggressively to the upside. So around this consolidation, I closed this trade here. Altogether, I closed this trade around this level before we had this massive push, which was, it's really hot since I've already missed trade from here. So around that period, I have to wait for the market to come back. See, once the market came back, let's go to the daily time frame. So the market pushed aggressively back against this zone has already been mitigated, which I'm not really interested again. So let's go to the daily time frame to at least for us to have a better view. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on. So this what's happening? So hold on. My voice. All right. So once we had this tap, I wish I close this trade early. So let market to push to this level of. Oh, why is my system? All right. So I was still expecting market to push to this our level of demand, which once price dropped aggressively down. So I was when market was consolidating around this level. Since market is already close to my POI point of interest, yeah, market was so I was like, okay, since the market is going to maybe probably still have potential push the downside. So this aggressive push to the upside, which another means trading. Now currently now, so what I want to focus on, I still have some levels. So what if you Let's go to the 4 hour. Lord, share I with you. Oh God damn it. Sorry for this video. I don't really. I still need to come up here to share with you what is going on. This is a distraction. So after this constant, we had this push to the upside. So what I was expecting, we had this level of this. We had this. I think we have this. I have this level of demand. So I hope you get the structure properly. This was our zone that was expecting market to push to. This was the first entry which I closed that early. So once we had this first which pushed up aggressive, I wasn't able to find an entry. I think I took a loss around this level before we had this push. Once we had this push, I was expecting market to drop around this level. We had this push back again. I wasn't able to place trade around this. Maybe I wasn't really much focused. So what I saw was once the market pushed to the upside, I was expecting more of retracement to the upside. So we had a level of demand here. This was really a painful trade for me. So after this breakout, I was expecting market to push down to this level. Since because of the failure, since price keep failing to come to this down level, I was not really interested again. So what the zone I was more interested on was this level here. So and we still have another level here. So I was more like, okay, let's leave this one aside. I took this one aside. I was expecting market to drop. So, but what I feel, unfortunately for me, market not really pushed down to this extreme level. It reacted from here and push up aggressively. Break structure and break structure and push aggressively to the upside. So once you add a break of structure, what do I see here? I see a level of demand again. Let me map this one out. So what I was expecting, once we had a break out here, what was I expecting? I was expecting the market to push down again to this level. But unfortunately, the market not pushed down. It went to break structure again to the upside. So what I saw was we had this level of demand altogether. So in this time around, what I did here is, since we have this zone here, we have this zone here. So I placed a pending order here, but my risk was very high, so I was very careful. I said, maybe probably if price slightly break above, maybe if you break below my entry in a very aggressive manner, maybe price will come here for push up. So I was not really giving much attention to this trade I took. So once price, I think I lose in the trade, but no, I stopped my trade. I closed the trade manually. So price went below a bit as it was going. I just closed the trade. Since my main focus was on this extreme zone. Unfortunately, market reversed and spiked up to this current level that we're seeing. So that's how far the market has really treated me. And to be honest, like all this zone, if it's normal, I will keep this trade. Sometimes I will trade up to close to a week in my entry level. Once I place trade, like me trade execute, I can hold trade up to 3 days, 4 days before it push to profit. Can be in drawdown before it push. But this one, like 2 days, not quite up to a day, I'll close the trade at. So I think more like I was still having some emotional state at that point. So still encouraging myself, but still pushing on. Losing is part of the game, or missing out potential move in the market is part of the game. So this video is more like, it's not really, I don't really take my time to spend a lot of things. I think there's still much to share, but what's most important here is I want you to keep the energy going, and like I think I point out here. So So from the 4 hour time frame, I don't want to waste much time. At least I really take time in this video. So from the 4 hour time frame, the market is strongly bullish. Strongly bullish altogether. So that was so much. The market is strongly bullish. So this is your market has already tapped here, push to the upside. What are we going to do currently? So what my focus will be on? As you know already, if I have any other information to pass across, I will share with you. But currently now what we are looking at here, we have this our low range, and why this is our high range. The principles still remain the same. What do we expect? We expect the market to, since it has already break out of, once we had this low, if you like this low, high, we had this low, this is our recent low, this is the original lead to the break of structure. So once you have the break of structure, this is our swing high, and this is our trading range. So what do we expect? We expect the market to push down a bit. I'll get now push down to a level of demand and push up again together. So more like what I'll be expecting from the market is I'm expecting the market to at least retrace a bit again. Like we have this level of demand here. So at this level, since it's not really close to the origin, most of the time I would love to go with confirmation here. Let's price come back again to trace. This I want to catch this trade live and share with you on the YouTube channel. So this is my major focus. Now currently now market is already overbought, so we just have to wait for the market to retrace. If more like this retrace and the range is very large, most of the time people look for opportunity to sell them, but I'm not that kind of, most of the time I don't really buy the idea of countering the trend. So I just, most of the time, if you watch my video, that's why I go to the weekly time frame. I would love to at least trade in the direction of the trend. So depend on how the market presents itself. So let's closely observe this market to retrace. I'll be more concerned on this push here. This here to take the trade from this level or maybe probably below, but we'll go with confirmation. Thank you and peace out.